Most entrepreneurs believe that if something isn't working in their business, the answer is simple. Maybe a better strategy, marketing, or effort, so they push harder. They tweak funnels, adjust pricing, try new tactics, and yet something still feels off. Maybe your growth has stalled. Maybe sales are inconsistent. Or maybe everything is working, but it doesn't feel as fulfilling as you thought it would. What if the problem isn't what you're doing, but how aligned you are while doing it? Well, in this episode, we're exploring a perspective that might challenge how you think about business entirely. My guest, Carrie Cardozo, approaches entrepreneurship through something she calls energetics, how your beliefs, your sense of worth, even your internal state directly impact the results you're getting. Now, I'll be the first to say, and I was thinking the same thing, some of this might sound a little out there, maybe even a bit spiritual woo. But before you write it off, I want you to listen with one question in mind. Where in my business am I forcing something that doesn't feel natural? Because whether you believe in energy or not, the patterns we talk about in this episode are very real. For example, underpricing because you don't fully believe in your value. How about burnout from trying to control everything? Or hitting a ceiling even when you're doing all the right things? And if you can start to recognize those energetic patterns, you can begin to shift them. So as you listen, don't focus on whether you agree with every concept. Focus on what resonates, what clicks, and what you can actually apply to your business and your life. Because sometimes the biggest breakthroughs don't come from doing more, they come from seeing things differently and aligning everything. So let's get into it. Before we begin, quick disclaimer. Nothing in this episode should be considered investment advice. Results discussed have not been independently vetted. Any claims made by the guests have not been verified. The content is for educational purposes only. Views expressed by the guests do not reflect those of the host or this show. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Financial Freedom Podcast. I've got a unique guest today, Carrie Cardozo from Connecticut. She is a psychic intuitive, going to talk to us how she applies her skills and abilities in business, entrepreneurship, leadership. I'm an intuitive myself, excited to talk with her. Carrie, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited for this conversation.
When did you notice that you had these abilities to help people, and how did you develop them to what you're doing now?
My story is unique. I've had these abilities since I was a child, but I didn't realize I was using them. I thought the way that I saw the world, the things I heard and experienced, everyone saw. I didn't talk much about the things I heard, but anytime I mentioned it, people would just be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Until I was in my early 30s and there was a tragedy that happened. My fiance at the time ended up unexpectedly passing away. In his passing, I realized that I could see, hear him. I was told ahead of time he was going to pass. I started to realize all the things I had been shown. Most people didn't know and see that. In that healing process of him passing, needing to understand where he went, what happened, started to grow my gifts. I realized all the times and how I use my gifts in everyday life. I use them in anything I'm doing, all the way to growing and building a business as a healer and psychic.
What is the skill from helping clients in business and entrepreneurship as opposed to their daily lives?
In the work I do, I relate any single thing that we're doing to energetics and understand it on an energy basis. Every single thing has energy, from the food you eat to your business. If you come and say to me, I have this business, just by saying that, I can look at the energy and I can tell you about your business. Your business is emitting a frequency. In that, I help make sure that the business's frequency, the energetics of it, are communicating what you want it to communicate, that you're a match for it. Ultimately, I help people design their business around what they came here to do as a soul. In that work, we're working on people. Most psychics focus on your path, your future. I do that, and then I relate it back to your business and make sure the energy of your business is doing what it needs to do, like the energy of you would be doing what you need to do. I also see what's going to happen with a business. There's many different ways you can look at the energy of a business, similar to how you can look at the energy of a person, animal, the future, or the past.
A lot of people that are not intuitive that are listening find this fascinating. How would you relate it to someone not familiar with the energetic or spiritual realm when you see the energy of a person's business? What does that look or feel like?
There's lots of different ways we can look at energy. Some people will describe it as a feeling they get. I see the actual vibration. When we talk about energy, we know there's a vibration to it. That vibration will produce words, it will produce a picture. It gives me a lot of information. In my mind's eye, I see images. I hear words through my channel, my ears. When I look at someone's business, I can see if the business is repelling clients. I can see the message. I get an image of the clients being confused. I also hear not resonating. I hear different prices you should price your offers at, different offers you should have. I know what products to have on display on what days based on what people are going to be looking for. So when I look at the energy, I can see colors. The colors always have a meaning to me. I get specific words, full on sentences. It's like talking to a person who has the inside scoop to see all the behind the scenes of the business that most people guess at. If an offer is aligned, they will come together, they will blend beautifully, the energetics will be a match, versus if an offer isn't going to work or there's stuff that needs to be changed down to the detail of the person, place, thing, price, the details.
When clients come to you, what do you find that what is their number one struggle, or what is causing their lack of financial success?
I have two groups of clients. I'll work with psychics who want to grow a business. Then I work with 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs. They're not struggling with financial success. They're struggling with feeling aligned. They built their businesses to make money. They've been successful at doing that. They thought that was going to fulfill them. And ultimately, it doesn't. They come to me to understand, what am I not doing in my business? What am I not getting out of my business that I need in order to feel fulfilled? The psychics who come to me most often come to me because they're not making the money that they need to. And most of the time, there's a couple things that will be misaligned. One, it's their trust and their belief in being able to actually make their business successful. They'll build a business, but not actually believe they could make the money. They'll have misaligned beliefs about whether they should charge a certain amount, whether people will pay, down to worthiness. We have to adjust their worthiness in order to be a match to receive the money that they want. They will not know how to price their offers. I have a quick story. I had a client who was struggling for worthiness to promote an offer. I said to her, "You're not in alignment. Let's raise the price." She was worried about this. She actually reduced them. I knew she did something. She came to me and said, "It's not working. I reduced my sessions. I'm not selling any of them." I was like, "Absolutely not." To raise them back up. We did work on her alignment. We shifted her energy. We helped her to feel worthy. We helped her to see her value, and we helped her to trust the price she set at and what her business meant to do. The next day, she put her sessions back out and sold them out because she was now in alignment. So I see a lot of people working, pushing, forcing, trying to make something work that's not aligned for them. Their soul has no desire. We'll switch that in order for them to make more money.
It's really fascinating what you're describing. While we're on the subject of energy, what are energetic leaks that stall business expansion? How can business owners, entrepreneurs spot these to help them grow and expand?
That's such a great question. One of the things I see, especially with higher earning entrepreneurs, business owners, 7 and 8 figures, is they built their business around a very specific way. They'll know something's going to work. They push, hustle, force. They build based on strategy, what they know needs to work. They get to a certain point where they can't hold it anymore because now there's a lot more clients involved, more money, working parts. They don't have the ability to let go, but they can't see this. They'll come to me and say, "I built to multiple 7 figures. I'm making $100 million a year. I'm burnt out, I'm exhausted. I can't support this. I can't fathom how I could grow even more." I have the ability to look at their business, look at what they're doing, and I can say, "You haven't learned how to properly delegate. You're not letting go of control. You don't have systems and structures in place to support growth. There's a whole new avenue of the business. Something's pulling on their energy where they're giving their focus attention to something that doesn't need it, that we can make a couple changes, structures, systems, procedures, or change people out. We put the owner, the brains, energy behind the business where it needs to be and being most productive, so their business continues to grow. Most of the time, we get caught in a loop. Business owners, we've gotten to a certain point, but can't get any farther than that. Sometimes the energy leak is the feeling of dissatisfaction. The meeting money goals isn't what satisfies and fulfills them. There is a soul urge inside for something that truly fulfills them. There's alignment that's looking to happen. They want to connect deeper to their soul. They want to understand what their path is in life. They want to be able to build that into their business. When we do that, streams of income open up, new contracts, agreements, collaborations are formed, so their business can double or triple. For the entrepreneur, business owner, founder, they feel so much better. It has nothing to do with the money, but the benefit of that bonus is that their business doubled.
Quick pause here. If this episode is making you rethink how your income is structured, that's intentional. Information doesn't create freedom. Structure does. At the end of this episode, I'm going to show you how to diagnose whether you're building leverage or just scaling complexity. Let's get back into it. For the audience, what are techniques that you help clients to produce extraordinary results? Reiki, meditation, visualization. Talk about the techniques, strategies that help you guide clients to where they want to go.
I personally don't do Reiki. In the energy and the spirit world, it is like level 1 of energy work. But what I do is deep ingrained soul connection. I take people into past lives. I will take them into their future life. I have the ability to see and read somebody's soul blueprint, their soul destiny. In these sessions, I can see your whole reason for existing. In this session, it's a 2-hour session, will show me what you came here to do, the lessons, experiences you came here to have, certain contracts you came here to abide by. It will also show me the spirits on the other side, whoever working in collaborations with you. It will show me the design, the blueprint for the impact that you're here to make. I use that soul destiny session as our blueprint to how to build out your business, but also to align you. In that alignment, I walk people through a process of a deeper connection to themselves. I activate their energy and activating others' gifts. When I work with people, it activates their psychic gifts. In that process, we connect you deeper to your soul. You're like, I can hear, I'm following. You can see, experience your soul. You get to see and experience the psychic gifts that you have. You start hearing, speaking to your guides. You read the energetics of your business, be able to restructure, manifest, call something in. So you can reprogram based on energetics. I activate people's soul gifts by a technique that I have for them to access their soul gifts to bring into their business. It's not Reiki, it's soul blueprint reading as well as soul theory. It helps you to understand what your purpose is here.
What's the difference between what you do, feng shui, and mediumship? How can one develop their abilities if they were just hearing this and listening to this?
Feng shui and psychics are totally different things. Feng shui is an understanding of how specific energy works within inside your house. I know the back left corner of your house is the money corner. If I was in somebody's house, I would read where the money is most aligned and where money wants to flow in based on the energy. As a psychic, I read the energy. This might be easier to understand. A lot of people do astrological readings. They'll say Venus is here and this is there. I do universal energy readings. I'm reading what the energy is showing me versus knowing what each planet does, what house they're in, and what that means. I'm reading the frequency. Energy sends out a message. It's always communicating with us. The same way I learned to speak Spanish or French. I know how to speak energetics, so I know what it's saying. There's a truth to every energy. The difference between what I do in mediumship is mediums speak to departed loved ones. I teach people how to do that because they communicate to us through energetics. they can connect with departed loved ones. In the psychic world, there's animal communicators, mediums, Reiki energy masters, medical intuitives. The label correspond with how and what they communicate. Most animal communicators have trouble reading a human or talking to your departed, but they're phenomenal at understanding animals, which the frequency that they're tuned into, and the words help us to describe it. As for opening those, I believe that every single person is psychic. It's a matter of you learning how to open your channels and tune in, get out of your head and connect, learning how to silence the mind. We don't channel through our mind. We silence the mind and open up the awareness and tap into what's around us and let that information come in. Start by quieting your mind and connecting to your heart space.
A lot of entrepreneurs, they have clients. We were talking about the tier system of clients. One were the psychic leeches. The other ones were the high vibrational ones that'll support you. Some days after dealing with clients, I'm so exhausted. Talk about holding space and supporting others without absorbing their energy.
Yeah, that's really great. It's one of the things that when I first came on the scene set me apart from others. Old school psychic and medium, they created a beautiful pathway for psychics and communicating in mediumship to be more receptive. Old school psychics were telephone from one side to the other. They would connect to a spirit and give a message. Sometimes that message would be good, sometimes it wasn't. We hear people talk about energy vampires, entities, false messages, false light. I teach people how to communicate with energetics and to understand energy. I have a way of showing people when we communicate, energy never lies. The vibration of love is always the same. If we hear the word love, it's Love. That's love. We read it, know what it is. It will never be something else. It can't. It's energy. Energy has a frequency that it's always the truth. It doesn't lie like humans lie. I could say I am the world's best basketball player. I'm not, but if I'm really convincing, maybe I could convince somebody. But my energy would show that I'm not a basketball player. It's always truth. If we understand energy, it allows us to connect with our own and see when something else is connecting to us. The reason we get exhausted is that I had an in-person retreat and I did 13 soul retrievals in one day. I got up the next day, did it again. In understanding energetics, I understand how they work. So I make sure I do not connect with other people's energy. We touch and release. I explain it this way. If I was reading a book, I wouldn't be like this, like rubbing the book on me. I would be reading it from a distance, not taking it on. I do the same. I teach people the same. When you're connecting with somebody, your energy is yours, mine's mine. I can read yours, but I don't hold it. I touch and release. I understand it and I let it go. I read it as it's out there, but I don't hold it. What we need to teach psychics to do is to be able to see their own energy, connect with their own energy, see what they're taking on of their clients, and being able to keep my energy mine, yours. But then if mine has taken stuff on, or if mine is really low because I've had a really big day, or there's crazy stuff happening in the world, I can connect and work with energy. I can alter mine. So if my energy feels heavy, I can cleanse and release and bring new things in. So I teach my psychics to have energy maintenance at all times. In the past, psychics didn't do this. They didn't know what they were connecting with. They didn't know if it was staying on them. They were constantly taking on other people's energy. The more we can read and understand energy, the more we can keep our energy clean so that we feel really good.
How does this apply for highly sensitive people? The energies come at them. How is that different?
Yeah, this is a really great question. One of the things we see a lot is that empaths have a really hard time being in public or dealing with people with really big emotions. In my work, I do deep healing. My experience is that empaths have been taught from a very early age based on their life experiences, things they've navigated through, or things they've brought in from a past life, that it's safer to take on energy and it's safer to absorb energy. So they've learned to take it on. When I work with empaths, and I don't consider myself an empath, I will not take on anyone's energy. I'm really good at working with energy, but I don't take it on. I show them how to not take on that energy as well as understand why they are. When we understand why we're doing something, we can switch that. When I work with empaths, I help them to see that they're safe that it's important to not take on people's energy, that it's not a bad thing. Most of the time, empaths want to please people, keep people safe, help people, they care about people. They do too much to the fact that they take it on. I help them to recognize and feel safe within inside their own energy and work through the things as to why they're doing that, and then feel powerful in their ability to protect, block. The best way is to make their energy really big and really strong, in really high vibration. And then other people's energy won't impact them. It won't hurt them because theirs will be the dominant strength energy. It's a powerful thing. It gives back their power. Nobody's energy bothers me. I have great boundaries. We create grids, orbs to protect our energy. There's different levels. The master level, our energy is so big and powerful, structured correctly, so nobody's energy can break down that field.
People that are fascinated with this talk and want to connect with you and learn more, how can they do that?
On social media, you can find me by searching carriecardozo.com, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And thanks for coming on and talking about this really fascinating subject.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me. This is fun.
Let's zoom out. If you're a physician, founder, or high-income professional, and you feel like you're working harder every year, but not structurally freer, you're not alone. The mistake isn't effort, it's architecture. This show exists to help you convert expertise into scalable leverage, faster and with fewer expensive missteps. Here's the diagnostic I mentioned before. If your income requires your constant presence, if your capital isn't compounding outside your profession, if your highest value talent is doing low value tasks, you don't have a growth problem, you have a leverage design problem. And if you want to fix it with clarity instead of guesswork, I offer a limited number of one-on-one leverage strategy sessions each month. We audit your income model, capital deployment, authority positioning, and structural bottlenecks, and design your highest return move. If you're serious about compressing years into months, the link to apply is below.